So how did I first start to see 109? Well, because 109 is an allusion to my birthday, I was always I was always aware of my birthday. I guess okay, I certainly know that in Korea, my birthday took on a greater level of significance for me. I'll give you an example. In Los Angeles, I celebrated my birthday when I was a young man, when I was a kid. As I grew older, I celebrated my birthday less and less, right? It's just a natural thing, maturity. But when I got to Korea, I was 27 years old. And when I moved to Korea, first things first, my birthday is the number that was on my identification card. And, I was kind of like I was the equivalent of an alien, a foreigner in Korea. And so wherever I went, I had to show my ID card. And it's called an ARC, or an alien registration card. Um, and your birth date is always there. And so the first four digits of my identification number were it was month, day. So 1009, and then the year, and then a bunch of other numbers, right? And so anytime I had to apply for, a bank account, if I had to show my registration card in Korea, I would always look at my card. I would always see those numbers. So that kind of was the first time that those numbers really meant something to me. It was like, I mean, I always saw those numbers every time I opened my wallet. I would see my ID card and I see those numbers 100 and 9, and that is my birthday, 10/9, right? Yeah, there are two zeros in there, but ignore that second zero. It's just a placeholder, right? If you ignore those numbers, ignore that, excuse me, that second zero, then you just have two numbers, 10 and 9. So maybe that explains why I call it, 10/9. So that's part of it. Always being reminded of your birthday every time you open your wallet, you make a purchase or something like that. That's kind of what it was like in Korea for me. Um, and then, I was learning the Korean language, and so a part of the Korean language was, learning the numbers, and that meant that anytime I was asked to, provide my registration card, I would have to rattle off those numbers. And so I would, in Korean, gu, whatever. gu means 1009. So it was a constant reminder of these numbers, right? So that's part of it. But then again, the other part is that's just those numbers relate to my birthday, or they are my birthday. So I'm always aware of my birthday. And whenever that day rolls around, then hey, it's my birthday, right? Well, the other thing that happened in Korea for me is on my birthday, the day, especially the first year that I was in Korea, when my birthday rolled around, I was excited and I wanted to celebrate with my new friends in Korea. And my Korean friends told me, your birthday falls on a national holiday. So, although you may want to celebrate your birthday, all of your Korean friends will actually be celebrating or thinking of something else. So it's kind of a bummer, like, but it also was a good point. It was a very good thing having a birthday fall on a holiday, a national holiday in Korea, because that meant that on my birthday I would have the day off, right, from work. I wouldn't have to really plan around, that day. I would get it off and be able to spend that day how I please. So that was the cool thing. So I guess Korea really impressed me and made me focus on my birthday because of the alien registration card, because of the Korean national holiday that my birthday fell on or shared that same day that it shared. So these were kind of a couple of things. But then something else peculiar and interesting, a coincidence, was that the first friend I made when I moved to Korea was a guy from New Zealand. His name is Luke. Great guy. And Luke and I were born on the same day, October 9th. So there it is again, just, impressing you, making me focus, making me focus on those numbers. Like you can't forget these numbers. Look, these numbers are all around you. The first friends you make, the holiday, it's on your card. It was just very much, at the front of my mind. And so that's 2007. That's when I started seeing, 10-9. That's when it really started, 2007. And that's when I basically took a leap of faith. Because when I moved to Korea, I had no idea what I had, what to expect in Korea. And looking back on the ideas that I had of Korea, it's ridiculous. All the ideas I had, because when I arrived in Korea, there was a McDonald's, a 7-Eleven, a Pizza Hut, and all of these very familiar restaurants, food chains, franchises. And I thought Korea had none of that. I really thought I was going to walk into basically a third world country, and I was, completely surprised by what I saw. But it was when I did that, moved to Korea, that 10-9 really started to, foment or solidify, something real in my mind. So that's what happened to me. And then from that point on, I can't even call it, that these are connections. Yes, 10-9 was very much, a far more significant number and date to me. But at that time, every experience that was to follow, and all of the levels of significance that I have learned about these numbers in many different schools of thought, I wasn't prepared for any of that, to learn all that I've learned about these numbers. But yeah, it started for me in 2007. So peace and blessings.
Window seat surfing on the wing. As an adolescent, I dreamed of big things. Climb to the top of the mountain to see the scene. Petty rap don't want me to have anything. I'm the captain, no jet lag. Boeing jet swag. Floating to the sunset, keep the drinks coming back. She summoned me, gave me turbulence on the sink. Pretty flight attendant boarding pass, I'm a buddy. Stunting first class, vegan meal yummy.